And here we go. Let's do this. We're going live. Good early evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is WxCenter Live, and as the title of this segment concludes, we are going to be going over the Thanksgiving weather pattern as well as what's left in the tropical AOR, both in the Pacific and in the Atlantic. Don't really have a lot to discuss tonight, guys. As I mentioned in my video earlier today, we have a very, very good weather pattern shaping up right now. A little bit of snowfall, a little bit of rain in certain parts of the United States, very little activity in the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and the rest of the Atlantic for that matter. So we're going to blow through this pretty quickly, and I also have to get out the house because I'm going to be going over to family's house and having some early Thanksgiving dinner tonight and then traveling tomorrow. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and start saying hello to some folks. We'll give it about 3 minutes to let some people join in with us tonight, and then we're just going to hit the road. We're looking at our infrared satellite, the half-disc shot that I had up in my earlier segment today, and you can see that the main weather player that was affecting the eastern United States is now well off the coast. It's starting to tap into some of the energy associated with our polar front jet, so we're going to get a little bit of a low center of circulation right up over the northeastern United States, moving in towards the New Brunswick, Nova Scotia area, further into East Quebec and so on. Polar vortex is in full effect over the Hudson Bay, it looks like, James Bay area, really spinning up there good, so lots of good cold air over central and northern Canada. But the rest of the United States, if you look, is very, very quiet. We have a little bit of cross-barrier flow here, but nothing too concerning in terms of non-convective winds. Let's see, another frontal system coming in right about... What's going on with my mouse? My mouse is acting up all of a sudden. Sheesh, just technical difficulty after technical difficulty. Another frontal system dipping south out of, looks like Alberta, Manitoba, or Alberta, Saskatchewan. I can't tell which one is which at this angle. So, you know... Weather pattern's pretty good right now. It is. And I took a dive, or I took a chance... making a video about how there's nothing going on and explaining how we should all be excited for the fact that we're going to be able to take a break after, I guess what you could say was a busy tropical Atlantic, a busy last couple of weeks here in the United States and the Caribbean. And so, yeah, I think we're really going to have to start changing the battle rhythm on this channel, unfortunately. As I've been watching my statistics and my stats, and yeah, I mean, even right now, I'm looking at my video statistics, and I'm 80% down in views. Like, no one is watching the weather right now, and the few sources that people are using to watch the weather, the big channels, even their views are dropping because there's just nothing going on. There's nothing out there. There's nothing to really hype up and whatnot. So, you know, I think we're going to start to shift gears on this channel, and hopefully you guys will rock with me. Hopefully we can continue to grow. Hopefully I don't scare a lot of people off because I'm not going to be doing recurring updates, but if I can be boldly honest, I don't see the need for it. If there's nothing out there, if there's nothing big happening across North America, Central America, my Caribbean folks down there, why am I going to, jump on a video to tell you what you already know? If you're out there enjoying the good weather, I'm not going to pop on and say, hey, keep enjoying the good weather, it's kind of a waste of energy, no offense. I'm not saying what I do is bad or anything like that, but until I do this as a full-time position and I don't have to immediately bounce off of my work, bounce out of chemistry homework and other schoolwork, and then come here, I'm going to try to, take a break whenever I can, and I hope you guys understand that. Let's go ahead and say hello to some folks. I really don't anticipate we're going to have a huge crowd in here tonight either, which is why I'm probably going to end up dipping out in about 20-25 minutes. Want to say hello to everybody, wish everyone a very wonderful Thanksgiving. I will do the same tomorrow in a very, very short-winded update. I'll have all of my camera equipment. We will not be going live on Friday night, unfortunately. I will still be out traveling. Should be out in the St. Petersburg area, as a matter of fact, doing some Thanksgiving festivities out in that area. So we'll see how that goes. Weather should be kind of cooperative. It looks like we might have a little bit of a chance for rain Friday night into Saturday, so we'll see. We'll talk a little bit about that. But, all in all, the weather pattern's been calming down. It's like we're kind of getting that little bit of a... between hurricane season, the sudden start of El Nino, and then possibly what's to come for the rest of the winter time as we finish up fall, because we only have, I think, about maybe 3 weeks. Is it about 3 weeks 3.5 weeks until the bona fide winter season hits, and that's when we could possibly see we could really see things amping up. El Nino is in full effect. You can see it right in through here. That's all El Nino. That's good old lower latitude subtropical jet right there. And I've coined the term. I want to start using it from here on out. Low latitude riders. We have our Alberta Clippers. We have our mid latitude cyclones. I'm calling these El Nino systems low latitude riders. That's what we're going to coin it here on the Weather Center. So if you hear me use the phrase low lat rider or low latitude rider, that means we have another Gulf of Mexico low latitude system pushing in that could enhance our rain chances. But all in all, folks, for the few of you who are going to be watching tonight, for the few of you who are gracious enough to take some time out of your Thanksgiving Eve evening to join me tonight for this little abbreviated live segment, I am genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, wishing you all a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I couldn't be more thankful for everybody in this chat right now, those who have come and gone, the close to 1,000 viewers we had during our Hurricane Tammy live coverage a number of weeks ago, about a month ago now almost, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very grateful for everyone who is tuned in and shared this channel, who's hit that subscribe button, and who continues to stick around even during what I consider the slow season of weather. Because, in all honesty, let's be honest, guys, like now at this point in time, we really don't have a lot going on in terms of catastrophes. We have situations like the tornadoes that hit a couple days ago, but even that is not something that's going to be on everyone's radar like a major hurricane or something in the Caribbean or something in the East Pacific. So we're going to be switching up. We're definitely going to be switching up. I as hard as it is to break the habit, because it's been a very, very, tough habit for a while now, I think I'm really going to dial back the amount of video updates I do. But the reason I'm going to do that is so I can backfill when I'm not updating you guys with other material. I have a long list of things that I've been working on to try to make this channel a little bit more fruitful in between the hurricane season, the flood seasons, and the tornado seasons. Because, in all honesty, guys, unless we see something very, very intense kick off, I truthfully do believe we're going to be in sort of a slow pattern until we start to get closer to Christmas time and New Year's and maybe into January and February. I could be wrong. There are some indications on our models that as early as the second week of December, we could start to see another round of possible severe weather, tornadoes, high winds, etc. But just based off of what I'm seeing and how our models are pulling back on a lot of their depictions and what's going to come up out of the south and move across the southeast, I think we're going to have a bit of a substantial lull before we really start to get into, okay, now tornadoes are ramping up, severe weather's ramping up, we're going to be very busy. We'll go ahead and look at our 18 Zulu GFS just because it's in now, and we'll go ahead and kick things off in that department. So, this paints the picture for you guys right here, folks. Look at this. This is where we are right now. And that's why I don't really have much to say. I really don't. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't want to waste you guys' time, because you look at this, and outside of maybe some winds and rainfall for the extreme upper northeast states, we're clear. Southeast is clear. We have a little bit of shower activity rocking through us right now because of the frontal system that's going to bring us wonderful weather when we wake up for Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. So hopefully that system in the Northeast will be cleared out and we can have a phenomenal day in the Northeast for our Macy's Day Parade for folks who watch that up in the North or across the United States for that matter. I know it was a big tradition in my household when I was living closer to my mom and dad. We'd always have the Macy's Day Parade on. So that's going to be amazing up there. Let's take this through a little bit further in time. Let's see if we can get that. Yeah, 12 Zulu, look at that. 12Z in the morning. We're going to have some pretty decent winds up there, but good cold air advection coming down. There's your 540 line right there. So up in the Northeast near the Manhattan area where they're going to have the Macy's Day Parade, it's going to be amazing for them. A little windy, but you know what? Wonderful weather. I would take that. I'd take a little bit of a wind chill and clear skies and the real effect of fall to where I got to bundle up, put a little scarf on, a little beanie, protect the ears and whatnot. Oh, man, I love that. And you can see down here in Florida, that frontal line is going to be over the Keys as the sun's coming up tomorrow, maybe a little after the sun's coming up tomorrow. This is 12Z, so this is about the 8 a.m. time frame, 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'll have frontal passage pretty much all the way through the state of Florida, and we're just barely starting to get a little bit more rainfall and snow activity over the higher terrain and the Rocky Mountains of the Great Basin, Intermountain West up here. So really, we have not much. There's not much happening. Really not a whole lot. And, I was watching videos earlier today to kind of see if it was the right time to step out of my comfort zone and make a video that's just nothing but nothing. Because, every video that I've made, it's always like a, oh God, or a whoa, or a look out, or something like that. In this case, it's like, that's why I don't know if the title is being taken out of context. I'm not saying that I'm the best weather update or whatever you want to call it ever. No, I'm saying it's the best kind of weather update you want to see. Good weather. Like, no one ever wants to read or hear about how your area is going to get smacked by hail or twisters or a hurricane. No, it's the best kind of weather update there is. Right before the holidays, you want to hear how there's good weather, good travel conditions, good times to be out and about with family, friends, enjoying the holidays. Like, that's why I named the video the way I did today. This is the best update you want to get. It's good weather, good to go, green across the board. That's why I even put a little check mark on the thumbnail, because we're solid. There could be occasional delays with the leftover showers that we have in the northeast, and then what's coming down over the northwest quadrant of the U.S. as the polar air sinks in. We're probably going to get some turbulence. There's going to be some good icing up in that area as well, but nothing catastrophic. And it's kind of it's kind of funny. I'm still seeing people mentioning the disturbance in the Caribbean, like, whoa, heavy rain threat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let it go. You let it go. Let it go. Just stop. Let it ride. I even said today in my video, like, hurricane season's done. It's done. It's over with. It's finished. Tomorrow's the 23rd of November. We're not going to suddenly get Vince or let alone Whitney in the last 7 days of the hurricane season, and I really don't see anything coming in December. There's been a few people mentioning that there's going to be something in December, and no, like, please just let it go. Let it go. Save it. And honestly, I would almost go as far as to say, save your energy. Save the energy for when it matters, because next year, I'm telling you now, and I'm not trying to manifest it with negative energy, but next year, I really do think we're going to have a lot to report on. We're going to have quite a bit to report on, and that's why I am totally okay with pushing 2023's hurricane season to the back of the room. No one puts baby in the corner. Yeah, well, we're putting the hurricane season in the corner, that's for certain. You get out of here. Let us enjoy our holidays, and let us forget the hype that was 2023. And you know what? With that being said, let's go ahead and obviously, like I said, guys, you look at the model here, and there's nothing really going on. We can go all the way through to Monday, and you can see again. Let's keep going forward in time. So even on Monday, like, look at how we get a little bit of activity across the United States. Nothing severe, nothing crazy. It's just another frontal system moving through. We're going to get some shower activity. Could see some rainfall down here in the southeast United States before another Hatteras low kicks off. We have a lot of shared energy right in through here with our jets kind of doing this. So that's why we have this area of enhanced activity that's expected to take shape. Makes a lot of sense. Nothing too bizarre, nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about. And then even after that, if you go forward in time, look at how we once again clear out. Like, look at that, guys. Could get some good lake effect near the Great Lakes, but nothing. Nothing for the rest of November. And you can see down here what we were talking about a few days ago, I think on Monday, as a matter of fact, that next potential severe event for us in the southeast, that's washed. Models have lost all confidence in that. That's this right here. It kind of just... That next frontal system is expected to be so strong that the tail end of it is going to start to meander a little too far to our south to create any kind of crazy conditions. This could possibly... See, like I said, as we get into early December, this might possibly be something we got to watch. But, like, look at that. Even then, maybe middle of December we'll start seeing some activity ramp up. But as far as I'm concerned, we're doing okay. We're going to just kind of... Like a lot of my friends like to say, we're chilling right now. We're not really looking at much. I'll do a little dono. Here's some money for the cool weather. Happy Thanksgiving. Ethan's Life, I genuinely appreciate you, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, your loved ones everywhere. I hope you guys have an amazing next 24, 48, 72 hours. You enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving break, for that matter. I'm jealous because my break is only starting tonight as of now. But yeah, guys, in summary, we're going to be looking at a pretty solid weather pattern, so it's going to take a lot of effort to continue making videos, and I think we are finally, as tough it is for me to say this, we're probably going to go back down to a video every other day, unless I see some kind of dramatic adjustment in the model data. And in fact, I'm almost ready to say I might just do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live streams and then do a video segment Tuesday and Thursday. This way you guys can still see me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We can still meet, talk, and hang out, congregate, talk weather. We can still do some updates. And then Tuesday and Thursday, depending on the threat level out there across the U.S. and down in the southern periphery of where the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, Central America, and everything is. And forgive me, guys, I haven't really been saying hello to anybody in the chat. Miss Leah, I know you're here. Zenful, I know you're here. Dark Earth, welcome in. Good to see you again. You weren't here on Monday. Very happy to see you joining us today. Inocencia Torres, happy Thanksgiving holiday. Happy Thanksgiving right back to you. Aston, welcome in. Good point. 33 days away from Christmas, guys. Wild to know that the rest of this year, I was going to say season, the season too, technically the fall season, the rest of this year is flying by. It's wild. I feel like we were just talking about Hurricane Lee and Hurricane Idalia and all that, and Tropical Storm Franklin. It's crazy how now all of a sudden we're saying Happy Thanksgiving, and now Christmas is 33 days away. Griffin, welcome in. Carmen, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining us tonight. PM, no rain today, forecast was a bust. Where do you live? Because I even have friends who live out in West Florida who were just telling me like a couple minutes ago that, yeah, it's raining outside. I tried to go to the gym today and it was raining, so I don't know. You must be like in this little bubble or dome, because I think we even got a little bit of, we had some light rain come through here earlier when I had a Good Chops, whatever that stuff. I suddenly forget the name. I think it's Good Chops, the meal delivery service. Yeah, Good Chop was delivered. I went outside and took a quick picture and video that I never got to post on Instagram earlier today of the prefrontal winds and a little bit of rain that's coming in. But Scrooge McDuck didn't get a drop in Ocala. Welcome in, by the way, Scrooge. Good to see you again. And yeah, we'll go over to the radar image real quick, and it's very sparse out there. It's not a situation where we're seeing widespread rainfall with our frontal system. That's the bummer. Like, we weren't expecting a whole lot of rain with this anyways. Just a little bit of shower activity. You can see, like, there's really not a whole lot with it. This isn't a very aggressive frontal system. At least as far as I'm concerned, I wasn't expecting any kind of rain or showers with it. I figured it was going to dry out by the time it got down here. And you can see that there's some residual showers and a good low-level moisture out there. Earlier today, you can see where the showers were kind of rolling in along the west coast, had some stuff petering out near the, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Charlotte Harbor area. Very famous location at this point in Florida. But there you have it. You go over to the base velocity, you can see all that cold air advection coming in. Let's see if we get our backwards S. Yeah, kind of. A little bit of a backwards S. Very subtly. So we got our little cold air advection coming in. You can kind of see it right there. Well, let me go take you through it right there. Right there. That's where the front is, technically speaking. We have all that prefrontal shower activity, but you can kind of see how those green returns in the inbound flow, they come out of the north all of a sudden. So front's coming through. We're going to see some pretty good weather conditions in the morning tomorrow. Very good stuff. But all right, let's go ahead and we'll go to tropics just for the sake of, quote, tropics talk. Even the Caribbean, you guys down there, if I have anyone joining in from the Caribbean right now, you guys are going to have some very wonderful weather for a while. Very wonderful weather. I still see people mentioning that there's an isolated heavy rain threat, and I don't know where they're getting that from. If I have anybody watching from the Caribbean, we can look at the Euro, and guys, you're going to have... Like, there's dry air down there now that kind of choked the life, asphyxiated Invest 99L. And then watch this out of the MDR. Look at all that dry air. Tons of dry air. Tons of dry air everywhere. We even have dry air, unfortunately, it looks like making a return for the southeast, which is, I think, also why our models are backing down on our El Nino systems. So we're kind of on vacation right now. Mother Nature's taking a vacation. So... it's going to be very quiet. So let's go out into the actual greater Atlantic, and we'll look at that other area. In fact, let's go to National Hurricane Center just for the poop of it and see. What are we at? Oh, they're dropping the chances, too. Look at that. They're dropping the chances. 20% over the next 48 hours, 40% over the next 7 days. I know, looking at the latest Euro, Euro thinks it's going to stay attached to a front right there. bona fide frontal system right there. You have your parent low up here kind of spinning around. Then there's our warm sector, maybe a little bit of an occlusion forming up. Frontal tail right there. Another little unstable wave right here. Another frontal axis right in through here. Lots of frontal activity out there. Like, we're definitely hitting the non-convective season full force. Lots of fronts everywhere, lots of jet activity. But look at the MDR, look through the Caribbean, check mark. Really good weather. Really good weather. So it's going to be a very boring next couple of weeks, to tell you the truth, for all my folks out there tuning in who may like to hype up. Unfortunately, we're really not going to have anything to hype besides the good weather. Carmen, are you able to give your... Yes, absolutely. 0201@gmail.com. There's that for you. Friday looks like it might rain in the evening for football. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have our rain chances kind of ebb and flow with us. We'll have a chance for some spotty shower and rainfall activity over the next several days. The 12Z Euro does a great job of showing it, so here comes that next little clipper of a system, kind of fades out, brings us some rainfall as we go through Friday through Sunday, so it might be a little bit of a wet weekend. Then we get another system trying to come together. You see that over the Gulf Coast, so Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mississippi could get a good shot of rainfall, but then for some reason, as soon as it gets to Florida, gone. There's that next system right here. This is the one. If you look, 12 Zulu at the 28th of November, this was, if you go back in time, I think it was the 19th on the 12th, or 19th at 12 Zulu, and you take this through time, yeah, there it is, that big old system right there, completely gone. Models have backed off on it, unfortunately. You come out here to 12Z now, and, not much. Not much with it. Kind of just speeds off through the Gulf of Mexico, and then we're thinking now that this next system right here, coming up in the very beginning parts of December, could possibly be our next big event, but this doesn't match very well on our other models. Like, now we're kind of in a period of discontinuity between our models with baroclinic systems. We had our discontinuities during the tropics, and now we're moving into discontinuity with our weather models. Because you can see, even once again, even with this system, it gets very aggressive in the Gulf of Mexico. This could maybe be another severe event for the southeast just out behind us. If you track this through time, yeah, look at that. Same kind of setup it's predicting. Low-level jet over the Texarkanas, Oklahoma moving into parts of Tennessee. What is that? Kentucky, I think it is. Same general setup as we just saw wrap up a couple days ago, but then as soon as it gets to Florida, it just kind of washes out. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. Kind of a bummer, because, I'm not doing this full time, so I can't drive up and go storm chasing yet, so I kind of need Mother Nature to bring the severe weather here and kind of drop it on my doorstep, please. I'm asking for it at this point. But yeah, there's our next system possibly going through, manifesting itself on December 1st as we wake up in the morning, and then moving through our neck of the woods by December 2nd, so following weekend. We will get heavy rain and severe storms in the next few weeks. December looks stormy, and January will be rough, especially around the beginning of January. We'll have to see what happens in December. With the way our models just keep kind of backing off on everything, it might take us a little bit to get that momentum and finally get the severe weather flowing or get the severe juices going. Because right now, I don't really see a whole lot. Like, you see, the GFS kind of brings the same thing in as the Euro a little bit later, but then destroys it. It destroys it and becomes just another northeast mid-Atlantic storm. And, nothing really happens down in the southeast. We have this possibly forming up. This is not until December 8th, so I know this is going to be adjusted just because of where we are in the GFS. We did have this on the 12 Zulu. Once again, much further in time than our previous system. Previous system has been completely washed. It's not down there anymore. And now we're thinking that we're going to get this big old cutoff system down over the southwest that's going to translate through the southern Rockies, reemerge on the other side, and that could be a severe weather event. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The good thing is, even with our baroclinic systems, we can see them coming a mile away, just like our tropical systems. It's what happens inside the systems that we can't see coming a mile away. Let's see what the Canadian model says. Canadian model has, weak system. Canadian model has also washed that severe event that we were looking at from the 29th through the 1st December. And then It's picking up on that same cutoff entity. There's that cutoff low again. Verifies really well with what the GFS is mentioning. Big old trough axes coming down with that strong push of jet energy through the Aleutian chain of Alaska. And then as this dips south, it'll likely translate across, and then it could reform up. This could be a very intense setup for severe weather, too, just looking at the big picture, because that's a 1041 high right here that the Canadian model is indicating. And with a 1041 high, we have a lot of very aggressive return flow happening through here. Lots of return flow. So as this guy tries to come out of the Rockies right here, this could be, once again, our action zone for widespread severe weather and tornadoes easily, hands down. Going to have a huge contrast in temperatures, dew points. And you could see it too. We have the 540 line with this system right here, and we have the 570 line surging to the north right here. So that's a sharp gradient right in through there in temps and dew points. Don't even have to pull anything else up. You can just see it, 1,000 miles away. I agree. I'm definitely ready for some more rain. Mick and Marley, welcome in. Howdy, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for the kind words you've been dropping on Instagram as well. I do appreciate that. Severe weather doesn't really get going until mid-December for Central Florida. We'll see. We'll see. My gut is telling me that we're going to have to give it a little bit. We're definitely going to have to give it a little bit. There's nothing too concerning on our models right now outside of this new cutoff low, but that's now 3 to 4 days in further into the future than we were initially thinking for our southeast region. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Big cutoff low coming across is definitely going to help to shake things up. That's for sure, especially with that very, very strong dominant high over the east. You have all this high pressure here. All this high pressure. So there's your kind of barrier between modifying maritime tropical air, and then you have this bona fide push of polar air coming across. And as these two collide, that's your action zone right here. Easily, very easily. This is a trademark setup right here. Oh, excuse me. Which big system? Because I thought they were doing very good with the setup that we just had. And a lot of our models did very good with the Miami subtropical, whatever you want to call it. I've been looking at all the high-res stuff, and the high-res models called it too. There were a few people who got a little aggressive in my community post when I shared that the models were thinking 2 distinct cyclones off the west and on the southeast coast of Florida, and people were like, yeah, right, and then look what happened. So I actually, just like with the Canadian model earlier this hurricane season with Idalia and a few other systems, those high-res models on weathermodels.com actually earned a lot of my trust when I was really digging into them, like the FV3, the NSSL. The HRRR is one of the more amazing high-res models. I was looking at the NDFD from National Weather Service. So those models there, definitely, right here. HRRR, NDFD from National Weather Service, NSSL, FV3, and I kind of used the ARW a little bit. These are all very, very localized high-res models. And all of them are doing very good with the last couple of events that have rolled through here. Granted, we can't see very far into the future, but in terms of anticipating the cyclogenesis of the low in the Gulf and then the one off of southeast Florida, they did really good. I don't really have many complaints. And the Euro and the GFS were bullseyeing it for quite a while, too. And that's why finally National Hurricane Center highlighted it for maybe a little something. So we'll see. The biggest thing at this point in time, guys, the key takeaway, and I wish that a lot of other folks, when they communicate the weather to you, because I know a lot of you guys don't solely watch my channel. If you do, that's a great feeling, because I see a lot of the other big channels, the comments are always the same. I only watch this channel. I only watch this channel. I don't even watch the news anymore. I always see those comments on other channels, so if you guys only watch mine, that's a wonderful feeling. I do appreciate it. But the key takeaway, guys, as we get ready to wrap up this stream, we got to really look at the jet. The jet at this time of year is going to be all telling. And as soon as I looked at the jet earlier today and I saw this, I knew we were going to be in for some very, cool weather. And when I say cool, I just mean like, modest weather, nothing crazy. Because look at how the jet is very, very broken up. We have a jet finger here, jet finger here, jet finger there, wheat jet finger there, jet finger, 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 jet finger. We don't have a consistent jet. And without a consistent jet, you don't have very good, aggressive temperature discontinuity. You don't have a lot of good upper level dynamics to really help induce a lot of craziness down near where we live at the surface and we can feel it. And so looking at the jet is going to be critical as we go through the rest of fall and winter time, because you can see we kind of stay quiet for a while. We get a little bit of shared energy here. That's not an increase in the jet at all. It's just we have, if you look here, we have the northern branch there. We have the polar front jet here, and then we have the subtropical jet here. So what we're seeing right there is all just kind of shared energy. Our jets are running right up against each other, and that's why we have the acceleration in the winds. And if you remember when we looked at the surface chart, there really wasn't too much bad weather. It was just, increased rain and some snow because we have some dynamics in play there. I know the GFS, as we go forward in time, right about here, there we can see that. Now that's bad weather on the horizon. We have a very, very concentrated jet right in through here, digging in. We have some collision going on between our subtropical jet and the polar front jet moving down to the south. So this is where you're going to have all your enhanced activity just translating off to the east across the United States. And that's when we could definitely see something big get going for us, because look at that. You have a nice trough, very aggressive trough coming through. So if this holds true and we don't see another, drop in our 300 millibar winds and our jet energy, that could definitely be our next severe weather event. This is December 5th, so we're moving again in time. We're moving about a week or so in advance. And key takeaway, before I run over time, because I do have to get going, I see it's 7:31. Key takeaway, guys, it's really cool how you can summarize the different seasons and you can tell who knows what it is that they're really doing in terms of when they forecast the weather and give you guys their YouTube or their social media analysis, because it's kind of the opposite of what we want to do during the hurricane season and the non-convective kind of baroclinic frontal system season. In the tropics, when we're going through hurricane season, we do want to look at the surface, because at the surface, our tropical systems are going to get going and then go up. This time of year, if you have a weather source that you like to watch, or people out there that you watch in passing, but you don't really pay close attention to them the next time you watch an update. And if they want to talk to you about severe weather and they start off with the surface or mean sea level pressure, nope. Wrong. Well, it's not wrong. Don't get me wrong. But you want to start in the upper levels for this time of year, because that's where it's going to really help to paint the picture of what the environment is doing and what will translate down to the surface. Tropical season, surface and up. Non-convective season, baroclinic season, top down. Bottom up, top down. That's kind of how we flip everything upside down as we go from summertime into fall, winter time. Right now, it's going to be all what our jets do. The subtropical jet during El Nino. It's all going to be the jets. The Jetsons. The New York Jets. I'm not going to say another jet pun. You guys know what I'm saying. But anyways, that's going to be the main takeaway, guys. I'm going to start closing out the stream. I do appreciate the few of you who joined in this evening. I know a lot of folks are probably traveling, enjoying the holidays already. I do sincerely appreciate each and every single one of you who made the time to come on in for this very abbreviated Weather Center Live. And with that being said, thank you again, since I have you guys watching live. I know it's a cliche statement. Thank you for your support. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you. But I wish there was a better way for me to vocalize just how thankful I am and how humbly motivating and inspiring all of you guys are when you drop the comments, when you hit the like button, when you hit the subscribe button. It's not about the statistics. At the end of the day, I look at my subscriber base as the community. And we are now, I believe, somewhere in like the 5,700 some odd realm of people who are on this weather community, on this channel, who are entrusting me with providing you guys with the information. And I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again, and I'm never going to stop saying it no matter where we go from here. If this channel crashes and burns, if I'm done before we get to next hurricane season, if I get discouraged, I don't know. God forbid. We never know what the future has in store for us. all I'm saying is I'm never going to stop reminding you guys what you mean to me and how much I give thanks on a day-to-day basis that I can jump on this camera, turn on my microphone, start recording, and I know that at least a number of you guys will like to hear what I have to say and enjoy every second of it, because this is what I love. This is what I've always wanted to do, and even if it's not in an official platform, even if it isn't a full-time professional career, it still means the world to me that I have you guys riding out this bad weather with me, talking us through it, and just kind of, riding shoulder to shoulder on the roller coaster that we call Mother Nature and the atmosphere. Because that's really what it is. You look at the jet, and it's literally a roller coaster you'd ride at Busch Gardens, Universal Studios. So we're all strapped in for the ride together. And honestly, I just want to see, and I'm eager to see, and I'm excited to see, for that matter, how much bigger we can get our roller coaster before we hit next hurricane season. Because I'm telling you now, we might want to enjoy wintertime, and we might want to enjoy the spring and whatever the severe weather events look like as we go through the rest of El Nino, because my gut, it's speaking to me, and it's telling me that next hurricane season, we're really going to have to watch out. And that's another reason why, as we go through this wintertime, I want to give you guys preparedness videos. I want to make a video totally off the chain that kind of just describes what preparedness is, what you should have at home, how you should find your escape routes, how you should evacuate, what is the difference between a voluntary and a mandatory evacuation. That's one new educational segment I want to bring to you guys. Another idea that I just recently had that I want to do for these live streams, for some strange reason, I've been watching a lot of the old space shuttle coverage on YouTube, and I recently rediscovered looking at old videos of the Challenger disaster. And I think I'm going to start doing maybe a video or two or a live stream or two every other week, kind of going through a historical event that occurred because of the weather. And I remember I summarized it to a few people I was explaining to about the Challenger disaster, and they were like, I asked them, do you want the specifics or do you want just kind of like the summary? And of course, they said the summary. And I said, you're going to hate me for saying this, but essentially the reason why the Challenger space shuttle blew up is because the officials in charge of the weather forecasts and the conditions prior to launch tried to let the NASA folks in the upper levels who dictated go, no-go with launches. They tried to tell them the weather was not favorable, and the folks in the upper levels mentioned, you're hyping, and they launched the shuttle, and look at what happened. Literally, if you wanted to sum it up, that's basically the Challenger accident. Folks tried to warn them the weather was not ideal for a shuttle launch, and the people who had the go, no-go authority basically said, you're hyping, you're fear-mongering, we're going to fly, and then look what happened. And so I think for just a future segment, I might do a very quick little live video or a live educational stream discussing the conditions that caused the Space Shuttle Challenger event, where it blew up. I think it was about 63 to 65 seconds after takeoff. Very catastrophic event. And that was on a crystal clear day. The only thing was it was too cold and the jet stream was overhead. So it makes you wonder if it was an El Nino season that they were in, and they tried to fly with that jet overhead. And so, I'm not taking away from what happened, but, just an idea. I think back in World War II, as a matter of fact, I think it was the invasion of Normandy, where they busted the forecast for that as well, and they had worse conditions on the shoreline, and that made storming the beach that much more difficult, but it kind of worked in their favor at the same time. So just things like that, kind of weather through history, and then obviously we'll do our commentaries on old hurricane seasons and whatever else I can come up with. But, the Challenger, I saw it happen on TV. That day sucked. Yeah, for sure. Nazara, you have us hooked. Please don't go away completely. Where would you go now? I hope nowhere, honestly. I hope nowhere. Mick and Marley, my favorite Weather Channel community now. I love that. Thank you very much for that. Very excited to keep going. So yeah, I have a lot of things that are going in my mind, and I think as the weather cooperates and it's quiet out there, I can actually take some time to do some notes and just kind of rejuvenate what it is that I want to do for the channel and bring a lot of new innovative content. But I hate to cut this short so briefly, but I'm 9 minutes over schedule. I got to get changed out and start headed out the door, hitting the road. So we will be in touch, folks. I will likely drop a very quick Weather Center segment tomorrow and maybe on Friday if I have a chance to sit down and get on my laptop and whatnot. Might not be the greatest quality, but we'll still get it out there one way or another. But happy Thanksgiving, guys. Big happy Thanksgiving. And I mean that not only from a YouTube perspective, but as a human being. Like, just happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday. You never know. They only happen once a year. God forbid. Treat it like it was your last and enjoy it like it was your first. So, thank God. I thank God for all of you guys. I thank God for my health. I thank God for the connections I've made and the education that this platform has provided me, and all of my old education for that matter, giving me the opportunity to communicate with you guys. So, we'll talk to you very soon. Please be safe in whatever it is you do decide to engage in with Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, if you're going to be going out somewhere outside of your local area, please be safe. Be cognizant of, because we're going to have a lot of the drivers and a lot of the bad traffic with the holiday commute and whatnot. So, just be careful. I want to see you back here for our next Weather Center Live segment for sure, so we can have another great conversation, all right? We'll talk to you soon, guys. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comments section of this video or my previous segment as of today, or reach out to me on my Instagram at WxCenter_Nazario. Message me at any time, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But until next time, folks, happy Thanksgiving one last time, and it probably won't be the last time I say it, but you know what it comes. It comes from the heart. We'll see you soon. This is Weather Center Nazario, signing out.